Hello and welcome back to the Bloom and Well podcast. I am super excited that you're here with me today, and it's taken me 3 tries for today's episode because my cats, as much as I love them, keep coming in here. So if you see them open the door, it's not a ghost. It is my cat opening the door back there. So I do apologize in advance, but I love doing this. I love talking with you guys. And today I wanted to talk about something that is linked to our childhood and something that leaves a lot of us confused in adulthood and with interesting habits and patterns that we don't fully understand. And this is going to help you to truly get why you keep doing the same exact things in every relationship, even though you desperately want to change. So, before we jump into this, as always, let's take a moment together. Put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and we're going to take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. So, here is what we are diving into today. And disclaimer, warning, this might really make things click into place for you. So much so that you might want to pull the car over or take a seat if you are cooking or cleaning or doing something. So we are going to talk about attachment styles. And if you've ever been on Instagram or TikTok, or you've read self-help books in the last 5 years, you've probably heard about attachment styles, right? You've heard about anxious, avoidant, secure, all of that jazz. But here's what nobody told me, and I'm assuming no one has told you yet, and that is that your attachment style isn't just about your childhood or just about your relationship patterns. And I think that's getting all the buzz these days, but it is literally living in your nervous system right now, right this very second. And that changes everything about how we heal and how we move forward. So I want to start simply today. So attachment is basically how safe you feel with other people. So it's the blueprint that your brain and your body and your nervous system created when you were little for how relationships work. And when you were a baby, you learned some really important things. So when I cry, does someone come? Or when I'm scared, can I count on someone to comfort me? Or when I need something, is it okay to ask? Are the people around me safe and predictable and reliable? And based on what happened, whether it was controllable or not, your little nervous system made some really big decisions and assumptions. Not necessarily conscious decisions, but these deep body level decisions about how to survive in relationships. And this, again, does not just mean romantic relationships. So think of it like this. Imagine you are out there and you're learning to swim as a kid. And if every single time you jumped in the pool and someone was right there to catch you, your body's going to learn, hey, water is safe. The pool is safe. The deep end is even safe. People are going to catch me. I can trust it. But if you jumped in, and maybe sometimes people caught you and maybe sometimes they didn't, or if you jumped in and nobody even noticed you struggling or drowning, your body's going to learn something completely different. And it's going to learn, this is unpredictable. I need to protect myself. So that is attachment. It's your nervous system and its strategy for staying safe in relationships based on what it learned was true about people. And the kicker is that strategy that you learned when you were young is still running. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, if you're 100, it's running right now in your body, in your brain, every single day. So there's 3 main attachment patterns, and I want you to listen not just with your head, but with your body. And when you listen with your body, I want you to see which one makes your stomach flip, or which one makes your chest tighten, or it just makes you genuinely like uncomfortable for whatever reason. We're going to start with anxious. So if you have an anxious attachment style, your nervous system learned that love is inconsistent. So sometimes people are there, sometimes people are not. So your body's strategy became, we need to stay alert. We need to watch for signs of rejection. We need to work really hard to keep people close. So maybe you catch yourself texting people multiple times if they don't respond. Or you analyze everything that people say for a hidden message or a hidden meaning. Or you feel a lot of anxiety, like crippling anxiety, like the world is ending when someone seems distant. Maybe you're someone that needs a lot of reassurance, or you feel like you're just too much or too intense, but you can't help it. And you likely struggle to relax in relationships even when things are good, even when everything feels fantastic and beautiful and fun. And so your body is basically saying, hey, people leave. We have to work hard to make them stay. We have to impress them. We have to be perfect. We have to earn the right to be with them. We can't let our guard down. And then we have the avoidant attachment. So if you have the avoidant attachment style, your nervous system learned that depending on people is not going to be safe. So maybe your needs weren't always met. Maybe showing emotion got you rejected. So your body's strategy then became, I don't need anyone. We have to keep everyone at arm's length, at a distance. I can handle everything by myself. And then you feel really uncomfortable when people get too close. And that makes you pull away when relationships get serious, intense, or really intimate and vulnerable. And you feel suffocated by people who need things from you. So you prefer to solve everything on your own, right? A chronic DIYer. I can do it all by myself, right? And you feel annoyed when people get needy and clingy and are always wanting to be around you 24/7. And you think you're just independent, but secretly you feel lonely. So your body is basically saying people aren't safe for me, right? We're better off alone. I don't have to let anyone in, because if I let someone in, they're going to hurt me. Not they might hurt me, they will hurt me. And then you have your secure attachment. So with secure attachment, your nervous system learned people are generally safe and reliable, right? You can ask for what you need. You can trust other people to get things done. You can trust people with you and your feelings. And if you like ask them to take care of something, they're going to do it. So you might feel comfortable with being close and being independent. You're probably someone who openly communicates what they need or what they want, and you don't really feel anxious about it or scared. And so you have this tendency to trust your relationships without constantly checking on the person and saying, hey, are you okay? Are we okay? Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? Right? And you're handling conflict as it comes up without panicking or shutting down. And with secure attachment, you feel worthy of love without working for it. So the truth is that most of us are not purely one or the other. And especially if you're listening to this podcast, there's a good chance that you are not securely attached, right? Because securely attached people have regulated nervous systems and they aren't completely burnt out. But that's good because we can help with that, right? So here's where it gets really important for you. Your attachment style is not just psychological, okay? It's not just how you think about relationships. So let me say that again, because this is the missing piece for you. Your attachment style is your nervous system's survival strategy playing out in real time. So remember last week when we talked about your nervous system having different modes? it had the fight or flight, it had the freeze, it had the shutdown. Your attachment style lives in those modes. So your anxious attachment lives in hyperarousal. So your nervous system is revved up, it's activated, it's on high alert, doesn't trust anything, doesn't trust anyone, and it's in this chronic state of danger is coming, we need to be prepared. And so when you are anxiously attached, your body is literally in a low level fight or flight all of the time, especially when you're in a relationship, because that relationship triggers you. And that's why you feel that buzzing anxiety all of the time. And that's why you can't stop checking your phone, or you can't stop checking on your friend or your partner, and you overanalyze every single conversation because your nervous system is looking for the bad. It's looking for the threat. And in the relationships, that threat isn't scanning for, are they gonna stay? It's scanning for abandonment. With the avoidant attachment lives in hypoarousal. So that means that your nervous system has learned to shut down emotional activation. Okay? That's where you get the stonewalling, you get the lack of emotions, the non-communication, and it's protecting you by numbing you out, right? By keeping your energy low, contained, and to yourself. And so when you're avoidantly attached, your body goes into this protective shutdown when things start to get too intimate, they get too real, they get too emotional, too vulnerable. And that's why that wall goes up. That's why you suddenly feel nothing when someone wants to be close to you. And it's why you need so much space, right? Because your nervous system is trying to protect you by disconnecting from your needs and from your feelings before someone else can reject them. So do you see that pattern there? You've got the anxious attachment and there's too much activation. They can't calm down. And then you have the avoidant attachment. There's too little activation and they can't connect. So both of these are trauma responses. Both of these are your body trying to keep you safe based on what you've learned. So that's why you can't just decide to change your attachment style. You can read the books, you can listen to the podcast, you can do the exercises, you can understand it perfectly in your mind, logically and rationally, and you can know exactly what you should be doing differently, but when the moment comes, what do? When your person doesn't text back or someone wants to talk about feelings, your body takes over, right? In this day and age, our brains and bodies are so disappointingly disconnected. The body takes over in this case because it's not a thinking problem, it's a nervous system problem. So your body learned that certain situations meant danger. And so when your nervous system senses that danger, it's going to activate its survival strategy automatically. So again, if you're anxiously attached, your body floods you with anxiety and adrenaline, and you reach for your phone before you even consciously decide to. It's not, hey, I need to text that person so I feel better, right? It's instantaneous, microseconds, milliseconds. And if you're avoidantly attached, your body shuts down those feelings and you go really cold before you even realize that you're doing it. And that's why it feels so frustrating, right? You know better, you want to do better, but you can't seem to do better, right? And that's not willpower or discipline that is the issue. It's your nervous system not feeling safe. So let me give you an example from my own life. So I am mixed, right? As most of us are, not everyone, but most of us are. And I lean more towards the anxious attachment, okay? And for so many years, if my partner seemed really stressed or distant or quiet, I would immediately start doing things, right? Like, are you okay? Are we okay? Am I okay? Did I do something wrong? Can I make you coffee? Can I cook for you? Can I do your laundry? Right? Like, do you need anything from me? Trying to fix everything, even though I didn't know what was wrong. And then I would tell myself it was because I loved him and I wanted to help him. And yes, that was partially true. But what was really happening was that my nervous system was freaking out because it sensed a threat, right? He's off. Something's wrong. Maybe he's upset with me. Maybe he's pulling away. Danger, activate, trigger, trigger our response. And before I could even think about it, I started shifting into this caretaking mode, trying to earn that sense of safety and trying to earn that love. And so my body was trying to control the situation in order to prevent abandonment. And that's where you get that hyperarousal, that anxious attachment in action. So let me get really specific because I want you to see yourself in this. So if you are someone who is more anxiously attached, your body probably has a really tight chest. Maybe you have shallow breathing, or you hold a lot of tension in your jaw, in your neck, in your shoulders. You feel really jittery or restless, and it's hard for you to sit still. It's hard for you to not be busy. You probably have stomach issues. So when your relationship gets a little rocky, maybe you start having chronic diarrhea or chronic constipation. You can't sleep. If someone sent you a text message and you're reading into it too much, you feel your heart race all of the time, right? Especially if you're waiting for someone's text and you can't focus on anything. You may have a to-do list a mile long, but you're waiting hours, sometimes days for a text message, staring at your phone the majority of the time, and it's hard for you to focus on anything else. You're probably getting headaches from constant anxiety and worry and all of the tension in your upper body. And you feel so exhausted from being on high alert all the time that you can't enjoy life. And then if you are someone who is likely avoidantly attached, your body probably feels numb. It probably feels disconnected, not just like the mind-body disconnection I was talking about, but probably disconnected from reality and disconnected from other people often. You have low energy, you have a lot of chronic fatigue, especially around emotional situations. And you shut down physically when conversations start to get really deep. And so then you just feel nothing. You feel nothing in your body when you know you should feel something. You care about this person, or you care about this hobby or this activity. You should feel something, but you just don't. Somebody needs something from you. You just want to go to sleep, or you get all this brain fog. You feel really heavy, really stuck, like you just can't get things done when stuff gets stressful. And you struggle to identify what you are feeling physically. So, I don't know. And you need a lot of alone time. A lot of alone time in order to feel like yourself or feel like normal, to come back to your baseline. So, my point in telling you this is to show you this is not all in your head. Okay? It's in your nervous system, it's in your chest, it's in your gut, it's in your muscles, your energy, your actions. So your attachment pattern is your body's way of being. And until your body learns a new way and you reparent yourself, as we call it, until your nervous system feels safe enough to try something different, you're going to keep repeating the exact same patterns, no matter how much you understand them. So, what do we do about this? First, I need you to just take a really big deep breath, give yourself some grace, let yourself off the hook for a minute, because again, this isn't your fault. You didn't choose this, you didn't ask for any of this. Your body learned this pattern in order to protect you. And it's been doing this for a long time because its only job is to keep you alive. But the good news is you can heal attachment patterns by healing your nervous system, by regulating it, right? So not just by thinking differently or logically understanding what's happening, and not just by trying harder in your relationships, but by teaching your body that it is safe to be regulated. Because secure attachment is a regulated nervous system. It is a product of a regulated nervous system. So that secure attachment is what happens when your body feels safe enough to stay in the present moment, to stay connected to someone, and to stay calm. even if those relationships get really hard or life gets uncertain and things are just getting rocky. So, healing attachment isn't about just changing your thoughts or your behavior, but changing your nervous system's baseline state of safety. So you need practices that are going to bring the activation down for those anxious attachment styles. So your nervous system is revved up way too high, and we need to learn to teach it to settle, to calm. So the next time you, my anxious attachments, start to feel all of that anxiety buzzing in some kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic, whatever it may be, give yourself 5 seconds, okay? 5 seconds to take some deep breaths. Do not text, do not act. Put both hands on your heart. 5 seconds of breath work, okay? I'm not asking you to count in for 4, out for 6, whatever. Just breathe. Then just try to focus on the breath, shift it back to the breath. In for 4, out for 6. 2 minutes of that, okay? After 2 minutes of that, I want you to then decide what to do. So no immediate action, focus on the breath 5 seconds, then shift to in for 4, out for 6, 2 minutes, okay? For my avoidance, you're going to need things that bring that activation up, but gently. So your nervous system is too far shut down, and we need to kind of wake it up and shake things up, but again, in a safe way. So when you notice yourself and you're starting to go numb, you're starting to pull away or disconnect, and you're doing things that really creates that distance, you want to do something that instead creates a safe activation. So going for a quick walk or a run, doing some squats or some jumping jacks, or splashing cold water on your face, something that's going to activate you and wake you up, right? And then you can take a few deep breaths and see if you can feel anything, right? Physical or emotional. So maybe I can feel some pain in my left back now. Maybe I can feel not really anxiety usually for you guys, but maybe I can feel resentment, or maybe I can feel some depression creeping up. Whatever comes up for you, your job in this case is not to judge it, but to just notice it arising. And for everyone, remember that the real healing and the real work and the real results are going to happen through those safe relationships. And in safe relationships, your nervous system is going to be able to practice something new. So this might be with a partner, it might be with a friend, it might be with a therapist, or it might be in a community like ours. But the key is that you need relationships where you can feel scared and not be abandoned. You need connections where you can need things and you can ask for those things and then not be rejected. Places where you can really and truly be vulnerable and intimate, and the world's not crumbling and ending and the sky's not falling. So your nervous system needs that proof that secure attachment is possible and that secure attachment is truly safe. And it needs those experiences that are going to contradict what you learned before. So your practice this week, guys, is to pick one safe person in your life, just one. It can be in person, it can be online, it can be family, friends, romantic partner. One person who feels even relatively safe to you. And I want you to try one small moment of doing the opposite of your pattern. So if you're anxiously attached, try not checking in. Try to give them some space when you want to reach out. And notice what happens in your body. And it's going to be scary at first, but try to breathe through it, even if it's just 5 minutes, right? And see if the world ends. Spoiler, it won't. And if you're avoidantly attached, try sharing something small. Something small that you need, something small that you're feeling. It doesn't have to be some big vulnerable confession that's going to alter your entire life or someone else's. Just, I'm having a hard day, or I could use some encouragement. and notice what happens in your body and breathe through that and see if you get rejected. Spoiler for you guys, you probably won't. So, you're not trying to change everything overnight. What you're doing with these exercises is that you are collecting evidence, right? That your old pattern might not be necessary anymore. So I know today's topic was heavy, and if you're sitting here and you're realizing, oh my gosh, my life makes sense, like this is crazy, I get it. I had the same realization about 10 years ago. And if you're thinking, great, so I'm broken and it's my nervous system, I can't do that, what am I supposed to do? No, you're not broken. You adapted. You persevered. Your body found a way to survive, and it did a really good job because you're still here. And thank God that you're still here. But you don't have to stay in that same survival pattern forever. Maybe it benefited you in childhood or your teens or even your early 20s, but if it's causing you issues now, you can heal those attachment patterns. You can change the way your brain thinks, the way that it's wired, the way that it functions. And your nervous system can absolutely learn new things, regardless of how old you are. So that secure attachment is possible for you, even if you didn't get it as a kid. But it's not going to happen by accident, right? And it doesn't happen by just understanding it. It happens through safe regulation over time, consistently, through your body having these new experiences that prove the old pattern isn't needed anymore. So if you're thinking, I can't do this alone, you're right. None of us can. So you've got to pick someone, if not a group of someones, that are there and supportive for you. And this is why in our group, we have multiple meetings each week, multiple live group meetings where you can practice these things. Because attachment is healed in relationships. Your nervous system needs safe connections in order to learn that connection is safe. That's the frustrating paradox, right? So we have a container where your nervous system can practice that safe, secure attachment, where you can be seen, where you can ask questions, where you can feel held, where you can feel supported, while your body is learning what real safety feels like. So it's not just through information, but it's also through experience. So I will leave links in the show notes for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to be supportive for you and to walk with you. And if you're not ready yet, that's totally okay. As I always say, keep listening, keep practicing, keep being curious about what your body is trying to tell you. And remember, every little step counts. Even if you're just hanging out with us and listening to this today, it's rewiring your brain and changing those thought patterns, changing how your brain functions, changing your nervous system. So your body is doing what it learned, and it can learn something new. We'll see you next time.